you and your wife are having a heated discussion. It's not yelling. We're not fighting over it. Really, we're just having a very impassioned discussion. And then you just said something you really wished you hadn't have said. You took it in a direction that was not needed to be taken. What do? Well, we're going to talk about when and how to use one of the greatest tools with your wife. And that is the do-over. We're going to talk about that this week on episode 237 of The Relaxed Male. This is The Relaxed Male, a show that comes to you each week helping men to remove the nice guy from their life so they can actually live their life on their terms. Join the host, certified coach Brian Goodwin, as he helps men step out of their heads and become free from the thoughts that bind them. Hey man, hello and welcome to The Relaxed Male. I'm your host Brian, and I'm a certified men's coach who assists men who are just neck deep in the suffering of their life. These are the men that are struggling to get their relationships up and going, and they're trying to make their bride happy, yet they are making themselves miserable in the process. What are you going to do? How do you change your approach to your marriage? Why is this sacred institute so full of strife and tension? Well, join me and we're going to discover how you can relax and have the marriage you wanted at the same time. You can have that marriage that is of love, peace, and more. And today we're talking about a great tool that you can use. Now, in the game of golf, now I'm not a big golfer by any stretch of the imagination, but there is this one little feature or gimme, if you want to, in golf that is called the mulligan. And what it is if you can take a swing, you're apparently, well, a lot of folks say that you're allowed one mulligan each game. You go off, you go to swing the club, you duff it real bad and you whiff it or whatever. And it just goes out and is gone. And you're never going to find that darn ball ever again. So what do? Well, you can in the game of golf, if your friends are up for it, call a mulligan. You just do it again. No hits, no ding to the scorecard or anything. It's just in, done, gone. Try it again. And may the odds be ever in your favor. But a lot of times we don't realize we actually have something like that. Now, the conditions of it are very much the same. All parties involved, when it comes to like in a marriage, all parties involved have to be agreed and allow for this mulligan to take place. Now, the mulligan that I'm talking about is called the do-over. And it's just as it sounds. You're talking about something and you go into an area and all of a sudden you see your wife tense up. She's getting ready to just light into you. And then it dawns on you. You just said something that you probably really don't want to be saying. So what do? Well, you can either let it go, just keep going, try to talk yourself out of it, and it's not going to work 99% of the time. Now, sometimes it will. It's like, oh, I didn't mean to say it that way. I'm sorry. That came out. It sounded better in my head than it did in real life. One of those things. But the do-over, essentially what you're doing is you're stopping conversation mid-stride and you're going, whoa, you apologize. That did not come out right. Or I just realized what I was doing. I just realized what was going on. Can I please have a do-over? That's it. That's all. That's all a do-over is. You ask for a do-over and your spouse, your wife, can actually go off and say yes. And now we're going to talk about why. When do you want, is it good to have a do-over? Well, it's not just when you go off and say, I'm going, you never, whatever, you never have people over to our house. You never go out and enjoy life. When we go into those you nevers, those very define moments, those types of things where people can react and discussions go completely off the rails. Those are all great times if you can catch it in time. Now, if everybody's emotions are just already skyrocketed, they're out and they're just blah, it becomes a free for all yelling match. A do-over probably isn't going to work, but you can always try. You can, whoa. Let's do a 5x5. And then let's come back. I want to do it. I want to try this discussion again because I screwed it up. And you go through and you might be able to get her to agree. It's like, okay, fine. I'm going to go cool down. I'll be back. So when is it good to have a do-over? Well, it's anytime, really. If you realized you misstepped, you broke the 97% rule, which is 97% rule is 97% of the dumb crap you want to say, you don't say. If you're wanting to have that, then great. If you do something like that and you say the 97% dumb stuff that you want to say, and that comes pouring out, then, you might just, if it's something of instant regret, you're like, oh, that was dumb. You can stop it. You have that power. Now, you also have to allow the power to be given to the wife. So if she says something and she wants to do a do-over, great. When you've made a huge misstep and you said, and you said something that was incredibly hurtful, again, you can stop and go, can I have a do-over? That didn't come out right. If you're talking and you notice things are getting really heated, we're just talking about bills and things are getting really heated and really, there's a lot of tension building up in this room, and you see where you can diffuse the situation. You can rephrase a couple of the key points you said at the beginning. You might be able to do a timeout. Can I do a do-over? This also happens when you find yourself starting to go into your corner and the wife is going into her corner, and those are physical corners or just literal or not literal corners, because that's the physical corners, but just the metaphorical corner. You can, again, stop and go, wait a minute. We're doing our anxious avoidant thing. we're avoiding the conflict. We need to have this discussion. What if we do a do-over? Maybe you heard something that was not right and you're starting to, you're starting to get a little wrapped up. You get and revved up and you're starting to get the anger going. You can, again, hold up. Let's do a do-over on this. I think we're going down the wrong path. So all in all, what a do-over is it's just you asking permission to stop and let's reset. Let's try this again. We got it wrong. We got this discussion completely wrong. Can we try this again? And this is a good thing. It's good for relationships, because what this means is that you're showing your wife that you're trying to be a better communicator. You're trying to have more in-depth conversations. We're not flying off the handle. We're not living in emotional childhood anymore. Or at least you aren't. She can. If she wants to be in emotional childhood and she wants to fly off the handle because you said something that could be perceived as you attacking her, and she wants to attack back, oh, okay. But you have the power where you don't have to attack back. You don't have to buy into the stories that her mind is telling herself. You can show your wife every time that you screw up, oh, that didn't come out right. I am sorry. And that's one of the main things. You want to apologize. You want to fess up and flesh out what it was you did wrong and why you would like a do-over. Because, I mean, when you're playing a golf game, your friends can see that your ball hit the hit the tree right in front of you and went 50 yards behind you. So you're like, okay, can I get a do-over? Can I catch a mulligan on this thing? And when you're with your your spouse, and y'all are starting to go into fight, flight, and more of the flight or freeze sections of y'all's means of coping with a stressful situation. It's good if you can stop that and go, whoa, hold up. This didn't quite go the way I wanted it to go. So let's try this again. When you can say that, when you can do that, things become a little bit easier. She starts to understand that you're trying your darndest. You're trying with all your might to try to be a better communicator. You're not out to sit there and react to everything that's said. You're going to respond, and you're going to reply with thought. You're not going to react with emotion, which allows for the hard and conflictual discussions to actually be had, to where y'all can actually get to the meat of the problem so that you and her can find that middle ground that y'all need to have so that you can have a better relationship, so you can have stronger connections, so you can have the marriage and the life that you're truly wanting to have. Yet if you're running around and you're lighting your hair on fire because of whatever, y'all are going to have that problem. If y'all are just responding and replying and just living your life in emotional childhood instead of emotional adulthood, your life, you're making yourselves a lot more tense. You're always looking out for those unintentional gotchas. When you are worried that your problems are because of somebody else, you're always going to be on the lookout. You're going to be tense. That's one of the reasons why I went with the word relaxed, not the happy male or the fulfilled male. It's the relaxed male, because when you are relaxed, you get the fulfillment in life, because your fulfillment is based upon what you deem fulfilling. You want a good marriage? You can have that good marriage. You being the man of the house allows you to have that good marriage. Your wife can still fly off the handle if that's what she wants, because her emotions are not for you to control. Her emotions are not there for you to manage. You're trying to live two people's lives at the same time when you're managing an emotion. Yet when you stop trying to manage the emotions, and that's why you do the do-over. You're not managing her emotions. You're trying to better the communication skill. You're not sitting there going, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you mad. Here, let me make it up to you. Let me do a do-over. No. If you've stepped in the pile of shit, you're going to have it on your shoe already. You've got to deal with it after that's happened. The do-over is for those times when you have misspoke and you realize that no matter what you do from that point forward, you're not going to be able to fix the problem. So how do you re-say to let her know that you're trying to make sure that the life is going smoother? You're not managing the emotion. You're not doing it to, I'm sorry, I pissed you off. Apparently I made you mad. When you're going off and trying to blame her for her emotional being, which, I mean, yeah, it's her emotional being, but you're blaming her because you're feeling uncomfortable. When you're feeling the stress of her emotional being, that's on you. So you can't blame her for the fact that you're feeling anxious, or you're feeling powerless, or you're feeling shamed, or whatever it is you're feeling. Those are all your choices. You get to have those emotions. Don't dodge those emotions. Just allow those emotions to be felt. But when you're doing a do-over, you're doing it so that you have a better means of communicating, not to emotionally manipulate the situation because you don't like how she's looking at you. Which, I mean, as I keep talking to this, it almost doesn't make sense. Well, when do you use it then? Well, you use it when you realize you've said something that you did not mean. When you are trying to not keep her from feeling certain emotions, but to help not even make her. I keep wanting to say make her, and you can't make her do anything. Because I still struggle with, if you want to say old language, I guess that would almost be it. Because us guys do want to have our wives happy. But when we try to force her into a particular frame of mind, it never is going to work. Well, you need to stop being angry about it. Well, that's going to piss her off even more, right? So when you are having a discussion and you see that you have verbally misstepped, this is so that you, again, kind of like with what I just did a moment ago, whenever I realized the way I was using the words weren't quite the words that I wanted to use. I could, essentially but I don't have anybody to actually ask since I'm talking just to you and it's a delayed reaction. But that would have been a good time to do a do-over. Been like, I just used a whole bunch of words I didn't want to use. Can I get a do-over? And from there, rephrase the word. Rephrase it. That's the number one time you're going to use a do-over is when you use a word that's not something you want to actually use. It's not a means of providing any type of benefit to the relationship, to the conversation at hand. And those times where you lashed out because you felt nervous, you felt anxious, you felt scared or what, and you lashed out and you said some words that you really don't truly believe. Okay. Well, I apologize. I said some stuff I did not actually believe. I was feeling hurt and I wanted to lash out, and I apologize. Can I please have a do-over on that? Can I try that again and say it the way I truly meant to say it? A lot of times, yeah, our wife will be okay with that, especially if she notices that you are honestly trying. If you're just trying to do it just to manipulate, she'll be, no. We're not playing that freaking game. So you have to use the do-over in a true, open, and honest way. Apologize for what it is you did. Express why you are sorrowful for what happened. If you don't, why would she believe you? Oh, I didn't mean to say it that way. Well, you said it, so apparently you meant it. No. Why did you not mean it? Express what it is why your misstep is considered a misstep to you. When you do that, you're going to help your wife understand that you're trying more. You're trying to make sure this relationship is better. And it does. It takes that time. So next time you have a discussion, next time you have a argument that is kind of heating up, or you said something, or something came out funny, or something came out a little wonkier than you wanted it to say, you stop it. Stop the conversation right there. Just hold it. That came out and sounded a lot worse than I actually intended for it to be. Can I get a do-over on that? And when you ask that, if she says yes, sweet. If she says no, okay, then set on it. Just be with the fact that she said no and just try to muddle through it. So guys, with that, I want to say thank you. This is a little bit shorter one this week. And, we kind of missed last week's because, well, I'm going to be diving into that one next week's, episode because, well, it's actually something very important that guys need to understand. And guys, I hope that y'all will be able to take what next week's into 238, because you need to know what you stand for, but also what happens when you fall from that stand. So guys, we're going to be talking about having more discussions about guys and how we navigate our life, how we navigate our marriages and our relationships and all that. So guys, with that, I want to say thank you very much for listening. If y'all enjoyed anything that was said in the show, please reach out to your brothers in the rest of your community and let them know that there's this show out there, this Relaxed Male, that's helping men stop panicking so much. Stop being so stressed out. Helps them stop being so worked up over their marriages and their relationships and find out that you can actually have a really good life with your wife, with your girlfriend, because you're not spazzing out. You're not being the spaz. You're not reacting to everything. You're responding to what the different fires that are happening. You get out of your own way. You've changed the way you think of the world, and you start calming down. You stop worrying and fretting over stuff. You just take the time to get it done. And that's what we're talking about each and every week, guys. Every week we're there. If you're wanting to help on getting a better relationship, or you want to get help having a stronger connection with your wife, you can always reach out to me. Go on to relaxedmale.com/lovebirds. When you go to Lovebirds, that you just fill out hit the button, sign up. I'll go through, we'll sit down, we'll have a discussion and find out what it is you're wanting to achieve. And from there, we will see what we can do on making a game plan so that you are able to have that marriage, have that relationship that you're wanting with your wife or girlfriend, because those are the important parts of a man's life. We need the woman of our life in our life, because without them, we're kind of lost. We're just floating through life. And when we become intentional with our relationships, we have that better life. And I want you guys to have the best life. So if you want that best life, you want the good time with your wife, and not having the stress and the worry and the tension that's often found in relationships, instead having a good, relaxed, embracing life and love with your spouse, relaxedmale.com/lovebirds, or you can go to the show notes, and there down at the bottom there's the coaching offer, and you can hit that and that'll take you to the same page. So guys, with that, I want to say thank you very much for listening. Y'all take care. We'll catch y'all next week. Till then, bye.